The Oath tells the story of Abu Jandal, Osama bin Laden's former bodyguard, and Salim Hamdam, his cousin, who is imprisoned in Guantanamo Bay prison. I thought the movie was very original. It appeared in the life of two protagonists, and it managed to keep both protagonists equally relevant, even though one of them, Salim, never appears in the movie. Even though we are primarily getting insight into Abu Jandal's life, Salim stays relevant throughout the movie as his letters are narrated. He is also a focal point since Abu Jandal shows an enormous amount of guilt for having introduced Salim to Al Qaeda, and especially while Salim's in prison, Abu Jandal remains a free man. I like how The Oath managed to show a more human side to the organization. I like how the film managed to, at least at times, detach Abu Jandal from his connections with terrorism and showed instead him as a leader, a religious man, and a caring father, but mostly a man that tries to live his life religiously, according to his beliefs, and is overwhelmed by guilt. I especially enjoy the cap scenes and how Abu Jandal would come up with a different story for every time to explain why the camera was there. I thought that showed how he was kind of enjoying this whole situation of being followed around. I think that also showed that he can be he can be kind of untrustworthy since he appears to be completely sincere when he's making up these stories about the camera. I also like the scenes where Abu Jandal was praying with his son because I felt those scenes were the most intimate and real, and I felt that those were moments where he really let his guard down. The Q&A with Laura Poitras was one of the most illuminating so far, I thought, and just because there's a lot that goes into documentary filmmaking that you can't really understand just by watching the movie. And in The Oath especially, I was interested in how she dealt with the whole danger aspect, and she explained that she had certain precautions, like she already had a person that would negotiate her release in case she was kidnapped. I also wondered why Abu Jandal would agree to being a part of this documentary, and she explained that he just wanted to get his story out and continue to be relevant. I was kind of disappointed when someone asked about the scene where Abu Jandal was asked whether or not he would have been a part of the 9/11 attacks, and he answers he wouldn't, and on the next day he requested the scene is deleted. And someone asked why Laura thought he wanted the scene deleted, and she responded that it was because he probably was afraid of other Al Qaeda members. But for some reason that just didn't feel like it was the case. I mean, he is already out there with this documentary and he doesn't seem to be afraid. I felt that his request had more to do with honor and the fact that to say that he wouldn't have been a part of those attacks goes against what he believes in, and it's probably false.